What is up, Budget Billers? My name is Trail, and we currently have about 8 active petitions on the market right now that are pushing for more stimulus checks. And one of them is calling for a $2,000 monthly payment for every American. Now, these petitions could be the catalyst that gets Congress to realize just how bad the American people are still struggling and need more stimulus aid to survive through this particular pandemic. And this is not just for all American people. Some of these petitions are specifically for our Social Security beneficiaries, which includes SSI, SSDI, survivors, VA, and railroad beneficiaries, and anyone else that falls under the Social Security umbrella. And after going over all of these petitions, I would highly encourage you guys to take the time to sign each and every one of them. Now, Congress, they must listen and they must act now to make this happen, guys. Now, with that being said, hey, if you're interested in any of these particular topics today, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. It really helps out the channel. And also, guys, if you end up liking this video, hey, go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out the channel as well. Now, let's go ahead and jump right back into this video. Okay, guys, real quick, before we get started, I wanted to ask you for your support on my new YouTube channel that we'll be launching sometime this year, and it's called Budget Bill Finance. Now, I am going to be talking about how to grow your wealth, as well as investing in stocks, as well as investing in real estate, and showing you guys exactly what I'm doing outside of YouTube. So if you want to be a part of that channel, be so kind and hit the subscribe button for us, and I hope to see you guys there. Now, that link will be down below in the description. Okay, guys, here we are. We have about a total of 8 different petitions right now that are calling for more stimulus aid. And these petitions, they want to get signatures, and then they are going to send these petitions on over to Congress to get those guys to get off their butts and do something about this country, to provide more stimulus aid to the struggling Americans in this country. Now, that will include our low as well as our moderate income individuals, as well as Social Security beneficiaries. Now, right here on the screen, we have the Senior Citizens League, which is a group that fights for our Social Security beneficiaries. And they have a total of at least 7 petitions on their website right now that they are asking for signatures. And the majority of these are calling for more stimulus aid. Now, if we look right here at the first petition, guys, this first petition is calling on a petition to Congress to provide Social Security recipients with a $1,400 stimulus check. Now, if we look at this petition, it says petition to Congress, provide a $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. The Senior Citizens League will collect both online and print petitions and bring a collective voice to members of Congress, urging them to issue a $1,400 stimulus check to all Social Security recipients. It says, and I of my spouse want Social Security recipients to receive $1,400 emergency stimulus checks to cope during this unprecedented inflationary year. Social Security benefits are one of the few types of income in retirement adjusted for inflation, but soaring inflation has taken a toll on household finances of retired and disabled Social Security recipients. Now, in 2021, Social Security benefits increased by just 1.3%, raising the average benefit by only about $20 a month. But about 86% of Social Security recipients surveyed say that their expenses increased by much more than that particular amount. Now, as one of the many supporters of the TSCL, which is the Senior Citizens League, who reside in your constituency, I strongly urge you that now is the time that you must support an emergency $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. Now, for the second petition, is calling for prescription drug costs to be reduced. That said, it's time to enact legislation that puts a stop to the dramatic increase of rising prescription drugs. Now, this is obviously referring to our elderly individuals who are on a low income basis, which they need to provide and buy their prescription drugs, which we have seen these prices for prescription drugs continue to rise every single year. And our elderly cannot afford these rising rising prices. And we have already seen where our elderly are now having to decide whether they are going to take half of one of their medication pills on each day or actually skip a day in order to survive. But this particular petition is saying that I am writing in support of this legislation that addresses the rising price of prescription drugs. Legislation like the Medicare Prescription Drug Price Negotiation Act and the Prescription Drug Affordable Act. This critical legislation would bring financial relief to millions of seniors by, number one, letting Medicare negotiate directly with the big drug companies to get prices down. Right now, they aren't allowed to, and that's one reason prices are continuing to rise. Number two, requiring full price transparency so seniors know what they are paying for and what our options are. Number three, preventing drug companies from making backroom deals to keep generics off the market. Seriously, guys? And then number four, restoring discounts and closing gaps for Medicare beneficiaries. Now, as a member of the Senior Citizens League and a voter in your constituency, I strongly urge you to throw your full support behind this overdue legislation. Let's give seniors on fixed incomes more money to spend and save by cutting the amount that we pay for prescription drugs. And then the third petition says that a petition to Congress, a fair cost of living adjustment for Social Security benefits. Now, the Senior Citizens League will collect both online and print petitions and bring collective voice to members of Congress. Now, I fully support legislation that will change the way that Social Security benefits are adjusted for inflation. It's time for Congress to pass legislation that will do this. Now, number one, it says to improve the methodology for a consumer price index specific to seniors and the unique expenditures for elderly Americans. Number two, mandate a benefit payment to make up for lost payments due to the use of previous inaccurate methodologies over the last 4 decades. And then number three, set a minimum annual cost of living adjustment to assure that beneficiaries have stability and predictability in the fixed income that they depend on every single day. Now, it says that it's time to take politics out of the benefits that Americans earn and paid for. It's time for Congress to pass legislation now that will help reverse the growing retirement crisis. And then the fourth petition says that a petition to Congress says that no budget deal that sells out America's seniors. The Senior Citizens League will collect both online and print petitions and bring a collective voice to members of Congress, urging them to reject any budget deal that includes cuts to Social Security and Medicare. We, the undersigned, support your efforts to reach a long-term budget agreement that will bring solvency to the nation and prevent a financial meltdown. However, we refuse to accept any deal that cuts the benefits America's seniors work for our whole lives, earn, and rely on every single day. Now, manipulating the way our cost of living adjustments are calculated, raising our premiums or increasing our deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses may look good on a balance sheet or sound good as part of a backroom deal, but in the real world, they affect our lives every day. Seniors aren't bargaining chips, and we refuse to be treated that way. We say no to the cuts in Social Security and Medicare benefits, no to unrealistic, unfair cost of living adjustments or COLA calculations, no to secret legislation deals that impact seniors, no to higher Medicare premiums, and no to higher out-of-pocket healthcare expenses for our seniors. And then we have our fifth petition right here, which is TSCL Social Security Fairness Petition. The Senior Citizens League will collect both online and print petitions and bring a collective voice to members of Congress, urging them to reject any budget deal that includes cuts to Social Security and Medicare. I demand fairness in the administrations of Social Security benefits as expressed in these 5 principles. Once a recipient begins collecting Social Security benefits, those benefits should not decrease as they do in case of millions of seniors when Medicare premiums increase in the absence of cost of living adjustments. Number 2, regardless of what happens to the Consumer Price Index or CPI, senior living expenses, which emphasizes Medicare, prescription drugs, food, and fuel, are rising and promise to continue doing so indefinitely. Social Security COLA should be based on the dedicated senior CPI that more accurately reflects their expenses. Number 3, Social Security should be protected. The Social Security Trust Fund should be off limits and require any federal budget submitted by the president to responsibly include a detailed proposal for Social Security reform legislation in those years when a budget shortfall is projected. Then number 4, the wage index factors used in calculating Social Security benefits should never be below 100%. Workers pay taxes based off of their full earnings. They should receive Social Security based on their full earnings. And then number 5, simple fairness requires that retirees who are close to age receive similar treatment in the Social Security system. Any changes in Social Security should be phased in over as long as a period as possible. I call on you to support legislation that embraces these particular principles of fairness for Social Security recipients. And then we have our 6th petition right here, which is the petition to Congress. I support the efforts to make Social Security more stable and secure, but the Social Security reform proposals being discussed and debated in Washington are both dangerous and unfair to current Social Security recipients. Congress must reintroduce the bill, and lawmakers must co-sponsor and support and vote for the Social Security Guarantee Act, recommended by the Senior Citizens League on behalf of millions of older Americans who are currently struggling to survive on benefits that already fall to keep abreast of skyrocketing medical and healthcare and Medicare costs in this country. Now, as one of the many supporters of TSCL who reside in your constituency, I strongly urge you to oppose any Social Security reform effort until first passing into law the Social Security Guarantee Act. In summary, there should be no cuts of the type of suggested by the Fiscal Commission, no new taxes on Social Security benefits, no Social Security COLA freezes, reductions, or cancellations, no Social Security benefits to illegal aliens, and no cuts of the type suggested by the House and the Senate Debt Reduction Super Committee. And then most importantly, I eagerly await your prompt support to reintroduce and vote on behalf of the Social Security Guarantee Act prior to the next election. And then, guys, we have the 7th petition by the Senior Citizen League, which is the Social Security Notch Years. It says, I and or my spouse was born in the Social Security Notch years from 1917 through 1926. Now, Notch victims receive up to $3,300 per year, less than other Social Security beneficiaries. I hereby petition you to vote for and support Notch fairness and thus provide a $5,000 settlement on an improved monthly benefit for Notch victims to compensate us for the lower benefits checks we've received since the Notch was created. If you are already a co-sponsor of reform legislation, please accept my gratitude, but please continue to work on and bring this to a vote. Respectfully signed by your concerned citizen of the United States. Now, guys, those are the particular 7 petitions that are put out by the Senior Citizens League. And as I told you guys, hey, most of these petitions right here are fighting for our Social Security beneficiaries, as well as those individuals who are on Medicare right now, as well as our elderly individuals, as well as our senior citizens, guys. All of our seniors, guys, they need these petitions to be signed in all fairness. Our senior citizens, our seniors, our elderly, and all of our Social Security beneficiaries, whoever you are, need these 7 petitions to be signed today, because Congress needs to know, guys, that these petitions need to be signed and our seniors need this help. Now, in other news, guys, we do have this other petition that was signed in 2020, which was calling for $2,000 monthly payments to be sent out to every American person. Hashtag money for the people, hashtag COVID-19. Now, guys, this particular petition was created on the website called change.org, and it was created by a person named Stephanie. And it says, "My name is Stephanie, and I am one of the millions of Americans who fear for my financial future because of the coronavirus crisis. With businesses and schools closing across the country to control the spread of the virus, many people have already lost their jobs. Others are being forced to stay at home. And this is catastrophic for working families like mine. And I am calling on Congress to support families with a $2,000 payment for adults and a $1,000 payment for kids immediately, and continually regular checks for the duration of the crisis." And as you guys know, hey, this crisis started in March of 2020, and here we are 2 months before March of 2022, which is going to be 2 years, guys. Yes, we are about to hit our 2-year anniversary with struggling from this pandemic, and we do need to call for these $2,000 monthly stimulus payments. Now, originally, when this petition was started on change.org, Stephanie put out a notice calling for at least 3 million signatures in order to be able to send this petition on over to Congress to show those guys in Congress and lawmakers that we really need more stimulus aid for the American people. All American people need at least one more stimulus check, which we've already received 1 stimulus check, 2 stimulus checks, as well as 3 stimulus checks. And now we are calling for a 4th stimulus check. And according to this petition right here on change.org, she is calling for a 4th stimulus check of $2,000 per month, reoccurring stimulus checks to be provided until this crisis is officially over. And like I stated, guys, she called for an initial calling of 3 million signatures. And guess what, guys? We have finally crossed that threshold. And right here on the screen, guys, we have crossed that threshold. We are now at 3,002,476 signed petitions of this petition calling for these $2,000 stimulus checks. And now I see that they have updated their original goal, and now the new goal is set for 4.5 million signatures. But guys, this is some good news that we originally crossed the first goal of reaching 3 million signatures. Now, if you haven't signed this petition, I would encourage you guys to sign this petition as well, because we must agree that we could use another stimulus check in this country, as well as go ahead and sign those other petitions on the Senior Citizens League's website. Now, I will include links to all of these petitions down below in the description so that you don't have any excuse to go ahead and sign these petitions today. Now, I hope this information was helpful to you. Hey, but anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit that like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.